Hey, this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about job searches and rejections. Okay, so I have been spending the weekend going through a bunch of old documents and folders and boxes trying to look for certain things and just get organized, you know, normal, tedious, boring organization work, right? But I found a box of a bunch of old rejection letters for searching for a job, right? And I wanted to share some of these with you. Now, a lot of you guys out there might be looking for your first computer job, or you might be working a job that you're just not happy with and you want to find something else, right? And one of the things you have to get used to when you're looking for a job, or even if you're running your own business and you're looking for clients, is you have to get used to rejection, right? It's funny that for some reason I kept these old letters from back in 1998 when I wasn't even in software yet. So just a bit of backstory. I was, still living in the States, and for family reasons, we had to move to England. And I was just finishing up my degree in history. So my degree is in U.S. history. Again, at the time, software development was something I didn't even think about. In fact, I didn't even think I was smart enough for software development back then. I thought, that's for the smart people. I could never do anything like that, right? So we're moving to England, and I didn't have a job. I didn't have any idea what I was going to do. So I started to apply to stuff. And because my degree was in history and I was not qualified to teach in England, I was looking for a job in, a museum or a book manufacturing company, whatever. So I was sending off all these CVs to all these different places, right? And it's funny to read through them this morning. There's nothing here for your. There's a rejection letter from Abingdon Museum, from Pendon Museum. I've actually quoted them for doing an app years later, right? I totally forgot that I'd applied to them, right? Wallingford Museum, they all wish me success in the future. Nothing suiting my skills. There's a UPS I've applied for, Reading Museum, Bexon Model Village, Berkshire Aviation Trust, right? I got lots of, and this is just the beginning. This is the first of many. Like over my career, I've gotten lots of rejection letters and rejection emails. But for those of you guys who've been in the business for a long time, you know that most of the time, you don't get a rejection at all. You just get silence, right? You apply, you wait to hear back, and then nothing, crickets, right? And it's just a part of doing things, right? And was going through all this, and I found my old CV, my first CV that I ever did, which was really light on skills, right? There was no, if you look at the skills section here, it says, able to read, to speak and read the Chinese, Mandarin, and Vietnamese languages. That's what I learned in the Army. I was a Chinese linguist. Never, ever, ever, ever came in handy in my job, right? Worked in a supervisory capacity in several working environments. In the Army, I was a sergeant, but that was it. Familiar with the basics of IBM compatible computing, including Windows 95, WordPerfect, and Quattro Pro 7, and can learn new programs without difficulty. Okay, I knew Windows 95, like click around. WordPerfect, yeah, I could probably highlight something and make it bold. Quattro Pro 7, I don't even remember what that is, but I remember at the time I didn't know it, but I figured I could learn it if I had to, right? And I thought that was like impressive. Office skills including typing, word processing, bookkeeping, and cash handling. Cash handling, that was on my CV back then. Familiar with world history and world events. Again, never came in. Able to work in a team environment or individually without supervision. Again, that's just a fluff thing, right? I mean, as far as CVs go, this was a very weak CV, right? But it was kind of a thing where, it was something. I had to give them a CV, and I was struggling hard to come up with a bunch of different stuff. In the end, when I did move to England, the first job I got was working in a factory. I got working in a factory packing yogurt into boxes. So I was standing at the end of a conveyor belt 8 hours a night, taking the yogurt pots out, putting them into boxes and sending them down another conveyor belt, which I did that for 2 months. And in the daytime, I would send off at least 10 CVs a day. And again, it was like back in 1998 where email wasn't, not a whole lot of companies were on email, and I was doing all through the newspaper, and I found all these Lady Diana stamps for 26p, right? The reason I wanted to show you guys this is because it's just a part of the process, right? It's funny when I think about it that when I look at these rejection letters today, I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of the fact that I got these rejection letters and I kept going, and eventually I was able to find that first job, the first IT job, and I was able to skill up, and I was able to read everything that I could. I was able to get onto that ladder and then move to the next job and the next job and the next job. And like I said, there's so many rejection letters since then. There's so much rejection, but I'm proud of these now. But back then, I was ashamed of them, right? I think every single one of these letters that came back was like a dagger through my heart. It was like, the more you start to hear that you're not suitable, it can get to you. Like your confidence could get lower. You could feel like, maybe they're right. Maybe I will never have a decent job. Maybe I'll just make minimum wage for my entire life, and that's just going to be the way that I go, right? And it wasn't until the persistence is only persistence if you keep at it, obviously, right? The fact when I did get my first job and I did get my second job and the next job, these went from being marks of shame to persistence. And and that's the thing about these things that we're embarrassed about, the things that we're afraid to try, the things that failure that we're so, God, that didn't work, is because we never know whether or not we're on the right track, whether or not we're going in the right direction. If I had a time machine, I could go back and tell this, young Eric, young 25-year-old Eric that, hey, don't worry about it. This is going to work out. Just keep at it. Don't give up. Keep going. I would have, but, then I'm going to have nothing to be proud of. The reason I'm proud is because I kept going. But, like I said, it was, at the time, it was embarrassing. It was shameful. It was, that. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Some of you guys out there are looking for jobs. You're looking to get in your next career, your new thing. You're looking to get into software. You're wondering, how do you break in? Everyone keeps saying no, right? It's just, keep at it, right? One day those rejection letters, those rejection emails, whatever, or the silence, the crickets that you hear, there'll be signs of your persistence, right? I know this from experience. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you're having a great day today, and I'll talk to you again next time.